and take a look at what they think about this showdown in the state of Missouri. That and more is all coming up as ESPN's Compact Sports Special, the 1985 World Series, unfolds.
Going to Kansas City, here I come. Going to Kansas City, here I come.
The Compact Sports Special, the 1985 World Series. Brought to you by the Compact Computer Corporation, makers of the Compact Personal Computer.
From Suter in the offseason, there weren't very many people who gave Whitey Herzog and the St. Louis Cardinals much of a chance to win the National League East, let alone the National League Championship. But bolstered by the acquisition of power hitter Jack Clark and with a bullpen by committee, Herzog did win the National League East and headed to the playoffs against the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers, of course, have a storied tradition in playoff and World Series competition, but not many people realize that the St. Louis Cardinals, when you talk about postseason play, have one of the most respected. We all know in World Series play, the Yankees have the most appearances with 33 and the most wins with 22. But few realize that the St. Louis Cardinals' percentage of 9 World Series titles and 13 appearances currently ranks number 2. That sets the stage for the playoffs between the Dodgers and the Cardinals. Lou Palmer has that story.
The National League Championship Series turned out to be a classic matchup of underdogs. Teams that had no chance in April, but somehow managed to dominate in September. It was hard to find a position where either team had a clear advantage. On paper, it looked like a dead-even matchup between the Beertown Cardinals and the Tinseltown Dodgers. But in the first 2 games, the Dodgers managed to beat the Cards at their own game, speed, pitching, and defense, and easily handed St. Louis a 2-0 deficit.
Well, I can't say that we're in the driver's seat, but I can say that we're in the best position that we can be at. We've played 2 games, we've won them both, and I'm real excited about going to St. Louis. We've guaranteed that we're going to be coming back home and playing here in L.A.
Returning home to Busch Stadium, the Cardinals seemed to be charged with a new life. Danny Cox rescued the sinking Redbirds in Game 3, and it seemed like the St. Louis Express was back on track. That is, until Sunday afternoon when rookie speedster Vince Coleman had his leg injured by the tarp. The team breathed a sigh of relief when it learned that Coleman had not suffered any permanent damage and responded with an offensive explosion against Jerry Royce that included 4 hits by Coleman's replacement Tito Landrum.
We were just very sad to the fact that Vince was hurt, and we're also happy, though, that the injury is not very serious. We were concerned that it might be one of those career-ending injuries, so we were happy to hear the results that Vince will be back in the near future. It felt very good, to be very honest with you. As a matter of fact, it might have been a blessing in disguise not to have to think about having to play tomorrow, which is today, and just being thrown in the lineup. I didn't have very many anxieties or much time really to think about it.
In the pivotal Game 5, the teams battled to a 2-2 tie until the 9th inning, when the most unlikely Cardinal home run threat turned out to be the game's hero. Ozzie Smith sent the series back to Los Angeles, with St. Louis leading 3-2 and needing just one more win to get a spot in the World Series.
By the time he hit it, I was already outside, so I had plenty of space up above me, but I was up there a number of times, probably higher than I ever been in my life, that's for sure, because, you know, I got white man's disease, but I was up there, I could have slam dunked a basketball that time.
But little did Clark know how high he would be in Game 6. The St. Louis Cardinals sent 4 players to San Francisco to get that man, Jack Clark. The reason is because he's a home run threat, and his dramatic 3-run home run in the top of the 9th inning Wednesday afternoon at Dodger Stadium carried the St. Louis Cardinals to the National League pennant. With 2 on and 2 out, first base empty in the 9th, Jack Clark got all over Niedencure's fastball and put it into the pavilion in left field, and the Cardinals won a thriller 7-5. It was time to spray the champagne in California.
You looked like you were going to run to the dugout when you left the plate. The first thing I wanted to do was run down my teammates, because that's for them. That's for the Cardinals and all the fans, great fans of mother and father. And I'm just really thank the Lord. It was just a tremendous finish, the greatest hit I ever had in my life, and the timing couldn't have been more perfect.
What did Jack Clark's home run sound like?
Yeah, it sounded so good. I just kept saying, it ain't over till it's over. It ain't over till it's over, and boom, he blasted it.
Oh, yeah, that's one of the greatest moments and I think that one of the best playoffs I never played in my life. I'm being 3 playoffs. I think this is one of the best.
It was a hell of a victory for us. I mean, the Dodgers got the great pitching. We were down 2, and we came back and hung in there and beat them. We just played well. We went out and did what we had to do, and just played well and just kept coming back, and that's what we've done all year. Just got to keep doing it.
Just ask Mike Marshall. He knows it only too well. It was his moment in the sun that fell victim to the Redbirds' heroics. His 8th-inning homer seemed destined to become a part of Dodger lore until Tom Lasorda decided to pitch to Jack Clark.
I can't believe that ball carried out.
When you win a division and when you're a ball player, there's only one thing, and that's to be in the World Series and to win it all. And anything short of that, you're going to be disappointed. So, I'm not really thinking, it's a consolation of having a great year, but, we're disappointed.
Mike, what did you think when that Clark ball was slammed over the fence?
I pinched myself. I thought I was dreaming, because as soon as he hit it, there was no question what had just happened, and it was quite a shock. But when you come right down to it, that's the reason they won 101 games or whatever, and that was the reason they beat us, because they come up with things like that, the Ozzie Smith home run, and then of course that. But it was a great series. It really was. We gave a couple games away that we should have won and we could have won, and I'll remember it for a long time. It was a lot of fun.
Everybody gave their best effort. We worked awfully hard. Nobody expected us to be here, and I just got to look back with good and fond memories, because I can't lay anything on Tom Niedenfuer and tell him that was the wrong pitch or you should have thrown somewhere else, because that's baseball.
Each person has his own thoughts. Sure, I feel guilty. I gave up the home run to lose the other day, and I gave up a home run to lose today. I didn't do my job, and their bullpen did do their job. So it's a little bit of a pride thing there, where I really didn't help our team as much as I wish I could have.
They played their hearts out. They won when nobody thought they could win. They were so close, and then we had nothing. But I'm so proud of them. They made my year a happy one. They're fine competitors. They're just a great bunch of guys. Boy, a manager loves being around these kind of players. And they played their hearts out. They did, and it was sad to see them lose it this way.
Give credit where credit is due. Tommy Lasorda did a great job of managing the Los Angeles Dodgers during the 1985 season. So it's on to the World Series for the St. Louis Cardinals. Fellow who's been there before, Darrell Porter, who was the most valuable player in 1982, is looking forward to this trip.
Yeah, this will be my third World Series, so I've won one and lost one. I got 2 kids now, and I've only got 1 World Championship ring, so we need 1 more. Got to get 1 for my little boy now.
Taking nothing away from the American League, and we have to play them in spring training, so you have to be a little careful, but I don't see why there's no reason why the Cardinals won't win it all. They have a little bit of everything, and I really think that the Cardinals will win it.
Kansas City Royals have something to say.